at, but behind the scenes, these conversations that went on, and there were 28 of them, you know, that went on through town for a month, and before that, even a few months, I would say, of people talking with each other, working out logistics and problems and issues. So I'm happy to say that that part of the project really, I think, shone through, if anything, for the artists and the business owners. Maybe not so much for the viewing public, but more importantly, the dialogue was created. It did happen. I'm going to move on to Ed, who is at Hudson Beach Glass, and the top second and third windows. So if you want to give us an explanation of your thoughts behind it and how you got to what we saw.
It's just graphic, presenting our figure drawings from the Beacon figure drawing session.
Talk to us first about that, in case we don't know, the Beacon figure drawing is what?
It started almost 9 months ago. Currently we've been meeting with Gallery G. We started out meeting floor 1. We have a lot of creative energy.
In essence, you meet every week, or every other week. It started off meeting weekly, and then it went to every other week, which I think actually works better.
Yeah, it does.
And a group of people pay $10, I think it's, right?
Yeah,
it's $10 to sit and draw. And Ed actually has taken over the organization of it, where he will find a model each week, and it's ZuZu figure drawing. And it's Beacons only, so if anybody's interested in that, Ed is the guy to talk to. That meets every other week, between floor 1 and Gallery G, which is on East Main Street.
Yeah, right now we have a great group of people.
Yeah.
Come in every week, extremely enthusiastic. We put out a lot of great art. And this was just one way of showcasing our art. I mean, figure drawing, you can use
I was already there. I got the
many disciplines. I mean, it's not just sitting there, you know, drawing figures of graphic art.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Illustration, you know, anything.
So when you decided to do Hudson Beach Glass, what were your original thoughts and how did you come up with the idea? What he did was he used these really large pieces of rice paper that filled the windows. He went color, and then on certain nights, I would say, they turn the lights on behind you so they glow in the evening. It was a wonderful effect. And they were very, I would say, Matisse-like. A lot of people have told me that too.
There was a lot of experimenting. Beth experimented. These are Beth's absolutely.
I'm sorry, you did collaborate with.
Yes, Beth Lewis Jackson, and she loved the ink, the reds, the yellows, the blues, the figures. She had lots of drawings and sketches to work with when she was creating her windows.
So you use your actual drawings from figure drawing session in the windows. So what we're in essence seeing was something taken from your notebooks or sketchbooks.
Yeah, directly from figure drawing, from what we started. It's just a great way to, they frame great, the colors are nice. It makes people look up, you know, and know there's something creative going on.
And how long did it take you guys to complete the project?
It was a lot of experimenting. We tried lots of different inks. We tried watercolors. We tried with acrylics. What we found actually worked best was pastels, just flat out pastels. And at the last minute, Beth put a lot of pastels, and I finished off the last 2 with pastels. And I think next year we're just going to go with pastels.
Great. I really enjoyed this project as well. I mean, I really enjoyed the bulk of that for what they said, the process behind it. So this was a wonderful display, I think, of the figure drawing sessions. Kind of brought it out loud. Because usually we're just holed up in either floor 1 or Gallery G, quietly, you know, drawing. So I thought this was a nice expose, if you will. Brought it out. We were a little worried in the beginning if people would be concerned about the nudity, if you will, but nobody seemed to bring it up.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's figures, you notice the color, you notice red, you notice the blue, you notice, you know, figures, they're nice. Yeah, they present nicely.
I agree.
the second floor
aspect of it too. So you sort of see the, like, you know it's there, and then it's a second later, you look up, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, there it is. And it's really nice. So looking at both the storefronts.
Yes. It was the only, in fact, layered piece, I would say, a vertically layered piece in the windows on Main Street, which worked really well.
Yeah, I think just working large was the most challenging thing since I've never worked large. I don't think that has ever worked this large. So, you know, taking up, you know, my entire condo to build these things, you know, from floor to ceiling was the biggest challenge.
Sure.
You know.
A spatial challenge. I would say.
Yeah, basically. And then hanging them up, but it was thrilling. It was exciting. It was absolutely exciting, just building these things.
Great. I'm going to move on to Elizabeth. She was down here at 500 Main Street. And it was a piece of simple questions. What do you want? So go ahead and let us know about that.
It was really interesting for me to even approach this because I'm a painter and my work is very large, it's very gestural, abstract, and it's very intuitive. It involves a lot of not looking at accidents and everything. And I had this real desire to do one of the windows on Main Street, but the last 2 years ago, I found myself, I got into a place in my life where, because I was not clear about what I wanted, I wound up being in a place that was, brought me a lot of sadness and a lot of difficulty and a lot of darkness, and I brought along with me my husband and my little son. And it was that it struck me that my lack of clarity about what I want, how destructive that can be, and the responsibility to that. And it began a year-long exploration into want. What is want? What do I want? Where does it live in my body? What is a no? What is a yes? Where can I find that? And it was a lot of contemplation, and what I really wound up discovering is that we just think so much, and why are children so directly connected to what's inside them and what they want? It's so clear, because they're very sensory beings. Their inner world is the same as their outer world, and they respond to everything through what they feel. And we think so much that a lot of times we don't even use our eyes, we don't use our ears, we don't sense the air around us or sense what we're feeling often enough to be able to respond with that impulse that a child would. But we have the ability. And I really spent a lot of time noticing when I do contemplate what I want, is it a welling up inside me, or does it come from my head? Is it, what kind of gesture is it, and what is the energy I'm feeling? And what's it like to want something as a woman versus wanting something as a man? They brought so many questions, but a lot of clarity, and I wondered, I just chose specifically a vacant storefront because he wants to rent his store, and I wanted to be a part of that support. I never met the owner. I worked with Mark,
Yes.
and I knew I would be working with the owner because we were both questioning the same thing. And it was such. The last 2 years have been about, my art has always reflected my life. I can look back on a body of work and say thank you for showing me that. And this too, the last 2 years have been me finding my voice, me finding the clarity around my trusting my instincts. So of course, what I would put out there are words that are very clear and not anything but what they are. It's a very clear voice. And it just, and I also chose this storefront because it has a mailbox slot. And I wanted that to evoke a feeling of like, well, can I ask for what I want? Can I leave something there? What does it feel like to have that question, that desire outside of me? what does it feel like